All right.
Okay. So you have your names of
Yeah.
people that you want. Is there anything else you wanted to ask Trudelt before you guys are on your way?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
Add a character. Asking you guys, do you guys want to just go to the most likely one? I kind of want to talk to all of them and judge our choices, but that will take more time. So,
Yeah, but we're in a very flexible time space right now, so.
right.
Mhm.
Oh,
Honestly, I don't
Oh,
mind.
you mean more session
yeah, yeah,
time?
yeah.
I
I
got
didn't want to
All
steal the
right.
Yeah.
whole session just to find Magic Trader for me and Patrick if everyone else had other things they needed or wanted to do.
No, I'm
Cool.
after this, I'm probably just gonna spend the rest of the time in the behemoth.
All right, Patrick, since you and I are going to be learning, I think it's best we both go at least.
Yes. Kriana, did you want to do anything?
No, I could have got nothing planned.
All right.
All right, so
right.
let's go see all three of them.
Okay, so do you want to just start top of the list? Yandi, Elise, then Lee?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, I'll just save us some time here. Yandi is indeed found at the New Laszlo Volunteer Fire Department. It's easy just asking for his name. He's able to meet you out in front. Has dark skin. He's in his 40s. He's in very good shape with chestnut-colored eyes and closely cut dark hair. After some greetings and introductions of names, he says, Trudelt said that you were traveling and you were looking for someone to teach you. I guess the most important question is, where are you traveling?
Well, first I should make it absolutely clear because that might make a difference. My friend here, Patrick, would like you to train him, and I have a very, very close, you could almost say family member of mine who would also like to learn. Unfortunately, he won't be here for a few days. But any questions that you would have, I could certainly answer about him.
So, well, I won't be leaving for a few days' time, so that's more than fine. And as long as you both plan on traveling together in the same place and can take my instruction at the same time, one student can learn as easily as two.
Okay, we are part of the traveling storytellers.
Hmm. You'll have to refresh my memory. I don't know what that is.
It is a group of circus performers and singers and entertainers who travels from city to city bringing, well, entertainment to the different cities.
Oh, okay. So where are you traveling to next? Just to give you a heads up,
Hmm.
your route, because you would know, your route is heading south. You're pretty much heading to kind of like the southeast before looping back up to Parents Post in 2 months.
Mm.
Or actually more of a month and a half, really, now.
Okay, I would just let
So
him
you
know
can.
what our basic plan is, yeah.
And he goes, we do have a problem then. I am heading towards the northeast, towards Laszlo Way. I mentioned to Trudalt if you guys are headed in that general direction, I could take some extra time from where I want to be. But frankly, I came from that area, from the south, and I would rather not go back down there, frankly, ever again.
I
Personal reasons, you understand.
I understand.
Um, I'm very, very sorry. He says, that's the only part that's inflexible. If you were traveling on your own, I assume I would have, we would have probably figured something out. But if you're already engaged with another group and that's their set route, then I don't think we'll be able to help each other out.
No, it's perfectly fine. You have your path and we have ours, and I
Hmm.
wouldn't want a disinterested teacher anyway for such an important thing. So I completely understand, and I thank you
Okay.
for your time.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you. Best of luck.
On to the next.
Okay. All right. Elise Cola. She is found at the dishonest priest, and she can be found at not at the bar, but on a near table close to the bar. She has scarlet red hair. She is fairly attractive. She seems to be in her late 20s, and she speaks with a very, very small, very, very slight Irish tinge. She, as Trudalt mentioned, is a ley line walker, and right now she seems to be uh, uh, intent in a conversation with another gentleman, in which soon she kind of gives him a little pat on the hands, a little charming smile, and then just gets up from the booth. The young man she was talking with seems, well, he looks like he's had his heart ripped out from him, frankly.
Aw.
And she's walking down where you're able to flag her, and who wants to talk with her first?
I think I will save Patrick the awkwardness.
Okay. She goes, "Hey there, sugar.
Hi.
You gonna buy me a drink?"
Yes. Yes, I am.
Oh, well, that was easy. She kind of gives a bit of a smile and heads over to the greasy bar itself, and she orders herself the local beer. And she points over to you there, Al. The bartender says that you'll grab the tab, and she says, "Now, why do you want to buy me a drink?"
Al will sit down on the stool next to her and he'll say, well, quite simply put, I'm looking for someone to teach my friend here and another friend of mine the art of magic. And I have been told that you might be interested in such a thing.
"Oh, it's true," she says. "I have to say I'm a little bit more surprised at the request, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't be able to help you. Now, of course, I'm not, an old graybeard, so I don't know every single thing there is out there. But that doesn't mean I can't teach you what I know. The only question is, for you and your friend there, is just the cost. Where are you going? Are you going to be staying here in New Laszlo, or are you traveling out and about?"
No, we're a part of the Endless Storytellers, so we travel quite a bit. Which is why we can't just go to the university here, and we need someone who would be willing to travel with us. At least for
Oh.
however long the instruction would be.
"Oh, well, it probably would take a few months," she says. "But, oh, what the hey. I'm kind of sick of New Laszlo already. Wouldn't probably hurt to hit the road, especially with a big group that tends to be a little bit safer. The only thing is that magical instruction, they charge an arm and a leg for it in New Laszlo, and to learn freelance, one-on-one, it would not be a very cheap prospect."
I am aware of the expense of it, though I'm unaware of the details. What would you be looking at?
As far as the price goes,
Yes.
well, let's see here. I think it would probably take you about 8 months for a swift person to learn, so we'll assume 8. Because no, sorry, it's not for you. It's for your friend, yes?
Yes, he's like family to me. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here himself, but if you have any questions about him, I can certainly answer them for you.
Okay. She takes a moment for a second. She's like, "So teaching 2 people? Well, I'd have to worry about my own expenses, of course. And, of course, protection, travel time." She pauses for a moment. She says, "I don't mean to be rude, but I don't want to quote a price that makes you feel uncomfortable. We might be hitting in the area of 7 digits. Is that something?" So that's like a
millions.
Yeah. And she says, "Should we continue the conversation or not? Not that you'd have to pay it all up front, of course."
We should most certainly continue the conversation.
She gives a wide smile and she leans over to you, much more interested, as she puts her chin in her arm and she goes, "Okay. Well then, I would normally just charge, about 750,000 just to teach one person. For 2, we'll make it probably a cool 1,000,000. I think that's fair for 8 months worth of work. Of course, it might be dangerous too," she says. "But you have to understand that I'm just, a lone girl and we don't even know each other, and I don't even know your friend. He's not even here. So to be of my interest, I would ask for maybe half of it in advance at first, and then whenever you're ready to leave, you just tell me where to meet you, or we can stop and chat and talk beforehand. And she adds, and then you can pay me the other half when your tutelage of your friends have been completed.
That would seem like a reasonable request, and it is
Oh,
certainly
thank you.
something that we can accommodate if we choose.
Mhm.
I have one question, and this question requires a bit of honesty and faith on your part.
Well, I don't know about faith, but I most certainly am an honest girl.
Magic is not a subject I'm intently familiar with, but I know it is a subject of great power. And the question, I'm just going to be as honest and as respectful as I can.
Mm-hmm.
How confident are you that you could not just teach someone, but teach them well so that they don't hurt themselves?
Oh, well, although I can't absolutely guarantee what a person might do with their magic if they set fire to their own hair or anything like that. But suffice to say, I've been around doing this ever since I was a wee 12 years old, and I've had absolutely no sort of incident or danger. Not a single spell of mine has gone off incorrectly. I'll be honest with you. I never taught anyone before, but I would teach you the same way my dad did. And doing so, I think you would learn properly, and I think you'd learn well.
Do you have issues teaching DBs?
No, not at all. Takes all kinds.
Okay. I will, of course, moving that sum of money, I need to confer with my friend and be sure of the case. We also have another person we are going to speak to, though. I would expect to hear from us very soon. Can we find you here?
Yeah, mostly during happy hour. But otherwise,
It might not take very long. Are you going to be here in another hour or so?
oh yeah, I think I could occupy my time for about an hour. Not a problem.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Do that, and then come back, and even if I refuse the offer, I'll buy you another drink for your time.
Well, there you go. And very gentlemanly. I think you're in the wrong place, she adds, and she gives a bit of a laugh.
Al kind of smirks and raises an eyebrow. I know I'm in the wrong place.
And she says, I know. Isn't it just fun?
Al gives a mischievous grin. And he turns around and to Patrick and beckons him to, like, walk away.
All right.
And what do you
Okay.
think?
If all the group is here too, you can also confer with him. But Patrick's the main guy. I agree.
I thought everyone went elsewhere. Or did everyone
Oh,
come?
my bad.
No, Mila's with you guys.
Oh, okay. Then,
Uh,
yeah, I would actually ask everyone what do you think?
I'm at the behemoth, so I'm not there.
Okay.
Mila doesn't care.
I'm still asking Tom then. I don't care. No. So, Patrick, what do you think?
I would probably just ask what kind of magic would be people were teaching, because I'm unsure about how magic works, but usually they come in all sorts of different uses.
Al, like, raises his eyebrows and he's like, I don't even know enough about the subject to know to ask that question. Okay. Maybe we should ask. Anything else I should ask before? Because I'm sorry, I know that you're not the best public speaker, but you know so much more about this than I do.
I know very little about wielding magic. I know general magic things. I believe even if we were taught by any of them, we would probably be at least able to channel magic, but to what? I don't know.
Then I think the best question would be ask what is her greatest strength, and then since we're gonna go talk to, and Al like pauses for a second, Lee, we should probably find out what his greatest strength is and use that to help determine which one we should choose.
I like Lee. Mila
I
smiles.
know you do. Al will say, "I'll go ask," and he'll go back to Elsie, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Elise.
Elise.
Close.
Elsie. Elise. And say, I am so sorry. I had one more question I completely forgot to ask.
That's okay. I tend to leave people without words.
Al will smile. Forgive my naivety of the subject, but what type of magic would you typically teach? I understand that you could probably give anyone the basics, but what are your strengths? What would be, basically, what kind of magic would they be learning?
Oh well, I know how to travel the ley lines, so I know quite a bit. Oh my God, what the fuck am I doing with my accent? I don't know. Anyway, I know quite a bit as far as the general stuff goes. Of course, we'd start you off slow and careful, but if you're wondering what I specialize in, more, she would say, music to charm and enchant. I would say.
I see. Do you know any healing magic?
I know a little bit, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. And like I said, I'll be back soon.
All right. Looking forward to it.
And then he'll go back and tell Patrick what she said. She says that she knows a lot about the general basics. Her strength is in charm and I would assume illusion. She knows a little bit of healing magic, which would be good for me. She looks like a strong contender. I'm kind of the opinion of going to Lee and having him try and convince us why we should pick him.
Sorry, I'm giggling out of character.
Me too.
Patrick would nod and would definitely say, "Yeah, Lee does have a lot of experience.
That's
I
true.
would actually like to know what he does."
I would too. And I was serious when I said that if it came to a scrap, I'd trust Lee with my life. I just don't know if I trust him as a teacher. I could even put up with him. He's not that bad of a guy. We just have to, Al, shoots a glance at Mila and then be careful who he's around. And then
Mila looks behind her.
Patrick is also... He's not the smoothest person. He's also, glancing at Mila.
So he says, shall we find Lee?
I got good news for you.
Mhm.
He's
He's
close.
probably-
I figured that's why I told her
He's
I'll be
in
back
his
in an
room
hour.
at
Yeah.
the Dishonor Priest.
I
yeah.
figured I'd be back in an hour or so because he should be around right. Okay, so let's go knock on Lee's door. This should be fun.
Okay. So you knock on the door. Very similar song and dance.
I was gonna say, since this is a very similar song and dance, I should probably bring some ale.
Okay,
I've
good
been
idea.
I've been through this dance before.
You have been through this dance before.
I should be like, is it a good idea to give him more alcohol?
He'll tell Patrick, I will make it a condition that he will have to agree to without terms that when he teaches us, he will be sober. Not and I will stop. Not like he has to be sober the entire 8 months or whatnot, but when he gives us instruction, it will be non-negotiable that he will not be drunk.
So, very similar. Bleary eyes look out through the harsh light of day as he notices first the ale and then who you are. Gives a bit less of a grumble this time as he lets you into his disgusting ass room. And after downing the drink, you all begin to talk as to why you are here. So get the ball rolling. Go ahead.
Firstly, I would probably say it would be a good thing to avoid your friend from that store for a while.
Friend from
The one you introduced me to?
Oh, yeah. He says, I heard about that. I heard a kid got shot. Is that right?
Wait. And Al gets really serious. What did you hear?
Elise says, I don't know. You hear things, especially at the Dishonored Priest, but I heard there was some sort of attack outside Myrna's House of Healing. A kid got shot, and now Julian, the guy I talked to you with, he didn't show up to work the past couple days.
Al will just kind of put his head in his hands and sigh. Yeah, that makes sense. Just best to stay away from him.
Yeah. Well.
On to other things. The reason why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Lee,
Yeah.
we're looking for someone to teach us magic.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
You came up, and Al's kind of like measuredly speaking, you came
Mm-hmm.
up as a tentative reference. And,
Really? He says, genuinely surprised.
well, people of your talent are not exactly easy to come by, and I'd be more than willing to vouch for your ability to cast magic.
Mm-hmm.
I would trust my life to you if it came to a fight, and I know you know your stuff.
Yeah.
My question is simple. We travel with the Endless Storytellers, you know this. We need someone who could travel with us for the appropriate amount of time it would take to teach us how to at least do the basics of magic. And while I like you as a person, and I have no doubt as to your qualifications when it comes to using magic,
He raises an eyebrow.
I have never seen you teach anyone, and therefore I don't know how good you are at actually teaching such a thing.
He gives a bit of a sigh and he says, there's a reason you never heard of me teaching anyone. It's because I only did it once before. I'm going to speak with you brass tacks. I'll teach you. I'm a shifter, which means I know how to cast magic that allows an individual, one person, to travel from dimension to dimension, from world to world. Of course, I also know the fundamentals of magic, and I can cast spells regardless of being able to shift or not. If I am to teach you, I will not teach you shifter magic.
Al shakes his head. I don't think that would be necessary. As far as I understand, I'm not sure what Patrick would like to learn, but healing magic is more. And Al pauses for a second. I should be up front.
Yeah.
You, if this matters, you would be teaching Patrick and a very close friend of mine who you have not met before. He's an elf, and he's a good man, but you haven't met him. I don't know if that'll matter to you or not.
Sorry. Sorry, I heard the healing magic part. What was the last part?
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. No. Basically, yeah. He's basically saying that you're not going to be teaching me. You're going to be teaching a close
Yeah.
friend of mine. But
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Uh, Lee would say, yeah, that's fine. Who's the friend?
Al kind of pauses for a while and he says, "Well, his name's Jin. He's
Okay.
like family to me. If you have any questions, of course I can answer about it. But he's not going to be here for a few days."
Okay. All right. He's like family. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of surprised about this conversation, but it doesn't mean I'm totally against it.
I'm surprised too.
But uh, you said there was two people though. Who's the other one?
Patrick. And he points to Patrick.
Patrick waves.
Oh. Kind of gives a smile. He goes, yeah. Shit, I'll teach you. I'll teach you anything you want. He says with a bit of a smile.
There would be a
Conditions?
few conditions, yes.
Yeah, I'd have a few as well. So why don't you give me yours first?
Condition one is that the idea is that we would try and set you up in your own trailer. I'd have to make sure that is going to work out, but one way or the other, we will take care of your lodging if you travel with us. The biggest condition I would have is I have no desire to try and convince you to give up alcohol, nor would I want to. But considering that you would be teaching people something that could be intensely dangerous, anytime you give a session, you would need to be sober. What you do in your off time is yours to do with as you will.
Yep. That makes sense. I mean, come on. I'm not stupid. I know I like to drink. But you're not going to learn magic through slurs. Okay, what's the other condition?
Al just kind of pauses, thinking of another condition.
Hmm.
And then he would say, I would only want you to accept the job if you were confident that you could teach Patrick and my friend without harming them. You know your abilities far better than I do, so I can't judge. I would just rely on your integrity to be able to say whether you think you can or not.
Well, considering we're leaving the shifter shit aside, I can guarantee you won't be any sort of danger in anything that I'm going to teach you. I'll be teaching you the fundamentals. In fact, I'll be teaching you enough that you become an open book. You know how to learn new spells. Hell, you could probably buy a couple here in New Laszlo when I'm done with you and learn exactly what you want. What I plan on doing, what I would do for the right price, is teach you so you could do almost anything. I would teach you how. I would teach you how to learn magic, how to properly approach it, how to properly fear it, and use it to how you wish.
Al nods.
He pauses for a moment and he shakes his head and clears his thoughts. Are you ready for my conditions?
I am.
Okay. Condition the one. The one. He says. Oh boy. He's still clearly slightly inebriated at this point. He says, if I'm to teach you, I want no back talk. Sorry, not you. If I'm here to teach your brother and you, he says to Patrick, I don't want any questions. All right? We know each other a little bit. You helped me out of a bind. I helped you with more, and that's fine. But I do remember certain punches to my eye, and he looks over to Mila.
Mila waves.
And I remember words that were said. You don't gotta like me. I don't necessarily have to like you. I'm glad you feel that you can trust me in a fight. I'm glad to think that I like to think and about to the death we'd have each other's back for the sake of mutual survival. But when I'm teaching magic, there's no back talk. There's no sarcasm. There's no eye rolling. There's no derogatory marks. I become the teacher, all right? Not just some washout drunk that's tagging along.
I agree to these terms. To be realistic about it, I can assure you, and Al would look to Patrick to kind of, as he says this, for make sure Patrick's approving as well. When it comes to whatever the sessions, the training sessions, the teaching, you're absolutely right. You're the teacher, they're the students. That won't be an issue. During the rest of the time, if we're just having food and shooting the breeze, we'll properly respect you, but we will treat you more like a friend or a colleague. But when it comes to the classroom, I'm sure Patrick and my friend know what would be expected.
Good. Well, it's handy. I get along fine with Patrick, I think. Right, Pat? He says.
I see, Patrick thinks for a moment. Probably.
Yeah, see? And your friend doesn't necessarily know me, so there's no problem. How about this? We'll add this as a mutual condition, he says. As he takes another drink of the ale that you gave him. How about this? We say 2 hours each day, right? For maybe 4 or 5 days in a row with a couple days as a break in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
Barring any sort of problems. We decide on 2 hours what during the day. That can be teaching time or classroom time or however you want to call it, right? So we have a fixed amount of time where I am in this teacher role, right? Everything like that, we're just like normal to each other, right? Good or bad or anything like that.
Okay. I think that's
Uh-huh.
perfectly fair.
Okay. All right. So the last condition, of course, is the price. All right. He pauses for a moment. He goes, I can't guarantee you exactly how long it's going to take for you guys to learn. So I'm thinking it's only fair to charge you a price per week. Thinking. He looks over to Patrick. Pat, roll me a D100.
Right. Let me just click this good old button.
Looks over to Patrick for a moment. Looks over to Mila. Looks over to you. He says, 5,000 a week.
Al gets mental calculator out.
You can get out a real calculator if you want.
Let's see here. Let's say
How much was it? 4,000 a week?
5,000.
5,000.
A week.
That would be about. Oh God, that's a steal. Compared to the other girl, out of character speaking,
Yeah.
compared to the other girl that
Oh,
wanted at least
yeah.
$1 million, we're talking like 200,000.